Welcome to our road trip through parts of Florida. To set a foot on the American continent, you usually need a flight. It's a special feeling when you board a plane at -5 degrees and get off the airplane again in almost 30 degrees Celsius. Our first stop was Naples after we landed in Fort Myers and were picked up by a very good friend. The beach, even though it had been hit hard by a hurricane a month before our landing, was beautiful and immediately inviting for a little sun bath. Hotels and residential buildings offer views of the wide ocean. Naples is a city in the county seat of Collier County in the U.S. state of Florida. At the last census in 2020, Naples had a population of 19,115. And we liked it from the very first moment on. Cool restaurants, pubs, and cafes can be found on every corner of the small downtown of Naples. Celebrating Christmas in shorts was something very special for us. It was always so contradictory, seeing Christmas decorations while eating ice cream. Or the Christmas tree next to the palm tree. We'd never experienced anything like that at Christmas time before. We received a very warm welcome and were given a car to drive to our next stop, Disney World in Orlando. The resort includes 4 theme parks: Disney's Magic Kingdom, Disney's Epcot, Disney's Hollywood Studios, and Disney's Animal Kingdom. It all started for us at Disney Springs. Disney Springs opened in March 1975 and is a shopping, dining, and entertainment center within the Walt Disney World Resort. The complex has undergone several expansions and renames over the years and has been known as Disney Springs since September 29, 2015. The original name was Lake Buena Vista Shopping Village and Walt Disney World Village. Disney's Epcot. Inspired by an unrealized concept by Walt Disney, the park opened on October 1st, 1982, as Epcot Center and was the resort's second park after the Magic Kingdom. The park opened on October 1st in 1982 as Epcot Center. The park is dedicated to human achievements, especially technological innovations and international culture, and is also referred to as Permanent World's Fair. Epcot is divided into 4 major areas: World Celebration, World Nature, World Discovery, and World Showcase. The park's landmark is, Spaceship Earth, a geodesic sphere. Here, you can truly experience half the world. In a 5-minute walk, you can, for example, walk from Italy to Japan. and from the Midwest of the USA to France or China. The Walt Disney World Resort Parks are from the surface the largest theme park complex in the world. In 1958, Walt Disney conceived the idea for a new theme park project after Disneyland in California had become a huge success. The fundamental idea behind Disney World was Walt Disney's vision of building an even bigger Disneyland and being able to continually expand it, regardless of space requirements. In 2019, Disney World Orlando was visited by 59 million people from all over the world. This park alone welcomed over 10 million visitors in 2023 from every continent on our planet. Here, you get the chance to meet your childhood heroes, even from other galaxies. The focus is always on joy and fun. The park covers an area of 135 acres and is dedicated to an idealized version of Hollywood. It focuses on the imaginary worlds of film, television, music, and theater, drawing inspiration from Hollywood's golden age. Every generation gets its fair share of fun here. However, everything has its price. The marketing here is highly professional and, in most cases, works. The park opened on October 1st, 1971. It was designed and built by the Walt Disney Imagineering Company. The theme park and attractions are modeled after those of Disneyland in Anaheim, California, which opened in 1955. With nearly 17.133 million visitors, the park was the most visited theme park in the world in 2022. Main Street is home to many souvenir and food shops, as well as a real barber shop. At the end of Main Street is the famous Cinderella Castle, which serves as a landmark for Magic Kingdom. The castle is 55 meters high. Other highlights of the park include Adventureland, Frontierland, Liberty Square, Fantasyland, Tomorrowland, Storybook Circus. There's something for everyone. From the happiest place in the world, we now move on to the John F. Kennedy Space Center. KSC is a NASA spaceport on Merritt Island in Florida. KSC is located northwest of the United States Space Force's Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. All manned space flights in the USA launched from KSC until March 2024. First, the Apollo missions, and from 1981 to 2011, the space shuttles. The VAB is one of the largest assembly halls in the world and, at 139 meters, has the tallest gates in the world. The hall is so large that there are times when the weather conditions inside are different from those outside. A small theater recreates a Saturn V mission from launch to landing on the moon.
20 seconds, all aspects, we are still go at this time. T-minus 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. The ignition sequence start. The engines arise. 4, 3.
This motion experience will give you goosebumps. It's almost like being there yourself at such a historic event. It's a breathtakingly realistic recreation of what it must have been like in the control room when the brave astronauts set off for the moon. The visitor complex offers guided tours of its exhibits and is the starting point for various bus tours of the KSC grounds, including a visit to the Apollo/Saturn V Center. One of the 2 remaining Saturn V rockets is located there. 17,000 people work at KSC, making it a significant economic factor for the region. Many areas of the site are closed to the public, and the northern tip is a nature reserve. Furthermore, the Space Shuttle Atlantis has been on display as a museum piece in the Visitor Center since the end of June 2013. Since May 2007, visitors have been able to experience the forces involved in launching a space shuttle in the shuttle launch experience. And when you're in Florida at the end of December, with the sun shining above you, sitting among all the palm trees, what do you think of? Absolutely right. Ice hockey. We went to the Hertz Arena in Estero and saw a very entertaining game with the Florida Everglades. The team has been playing in the East Coast Hockey League since 1998. The Florida Everglades' most successful season to date was from 2003 to 2005, when they reached the Kelly Cup playoff finals. We saw a home victory against the South Carolina Stingrays. St. Augustine is the oldest continuously settled city in the United States, founded by Europeans. St. Augustine was founded by the Spanish Admiral Pedro Menéndez de Avilés on August 28, 1565. It boasts an intact cityscape and numerous unique buildings of the Spanish colonial style of colonial architecture in North America. The city has a rich history and, over time, passed from Spanish to British rule. It then fell back into Spanish hands. While Spain was occupied by Napoleon from 1808 to 1814, Florida became a member of the United States. During the Civil War, Florida seceded from the Union and sided with the Confederates. It rejoined the United States in 1865. Numerous buildings from its time as a Spanish colony can still be found in the city today. The Castillo de San Marcos, built by the Spanish, is a brick fort and the city's landmark. Under British occupation from 1763 to 1784, it was known as Fort St. Mark, and from 1821 to 1842, under American command, it was known as Fort Marion. On weekends, when the weather is good, the cannon is fired for tourists. A noisy but interesting experience. The St. Augustine Light Station is a privately maintained aid to navigation and an active, working lighthouse. The current lighthouse was built between 1871 and 1874 and is now owned by the St. Augustine Lighthouse and Maritime Museum Incorporated. 219 steps bring you up to the top of the lighthouse. The tower is 161 feet high, that's almost 50 meters. Keep alive the story of the nation's oldest port and connect young people to marine sciences. The museum is open to the public 360 days a year. Admission fees support continued preservation of the lighthouse and 5 other historic structures. The St. Augustine Lighthouse and Maritime Museum aims to preserve local maritime history. The last stop on our trip was also one of the reasons why we absolutely wanted to visit Florida: the Everglades. The Everglades are a tropical marshland in southern Florida. Part of the Everglades is protected as Everglades National Park. They are also called the Grass River. This river is not recognizable as such at first glance, as it rarely appears as open water. Rather, this watercourse, up to 60 kilometers wide, is often only a few centimeters deep, so that almost the entire area is covered in grass, yet it flows at a rate of 1 meter per hour. However, the Everglades should not be viewed solely as a swampland. Rather, it is a prairie that is flooded for most of the year and dry only in winter. A total of 350 different species of birds, 300 freshwater and saltwater fish, 40 mammals, and 50 reptiles have been recorded. The Everglades are also home to raccoons, black bears, snakes, alligators, American crocodiles, manatees, spiders, cougars, some turtles, and other species. The Everglades is the only region on Earth where both alligators and crocodiles live. Alligators are widespread throughout the park, but avoid salt water. The highest natural point is 2.4 meters above sea level. The Glades are topographically and geographically the lowest point in Florida. The national park protects the southern part of the Everglades, but it only covers about 20% of the area of the original wetlands. And of course, we had to take an airboat tour. It is great fun for all ages. Despite the incredible diversity of nature and the beautiful weather, no one wanted to go swimming. I had no idea why. Our very last stop was Fort Myers. The town has a very nice town center and is also located right on the water. Great local pubs and restaurants invite you to linger. And then this wonderful vacation was over. We really enjoyed Florida. There's so much to see. We would return anytime. Very special thanks goes to our friends in Florida who shared their vehicle and house with us and showed us many insider tips and continually surprised and welcomed us with their positive attitude. Thank you for accompanying us on our Florida trip.